Hey everyone, Mr. MCA here. Welcome to another Gran Turismo 7 racing video where we're at the Toyota Gazoo Racing GT Cup at Autopolis with the 86 and the BRZ, although everyone's using the 86 as it has a better suspension setup. Here we're entering this race with very little warm-up, and we're going to see if we try to get 300 points for this race. So in this race we have to finish P4 or better. Now, somehow I managed to qualify P6, even though I barely warmed up for this race, which that was mistake number 1. But we're going to see if we can try to move any positions. So now let's go ahead and get started with the race. Traction control at 1 to try to prevent any sort of unnecessary wheel spin as we get off of the start line. And off we go. So we do need to be a little careful through turn number 1, so we do want to brake a little early and try not to go into anyone. Although there's already a bit of shenanigans going on in front, and actually I'm part of the shenanigans as well. And with these kind of starts, people are going to get pretty feisty and try to grab any spots if the opportunity presents itself. Going 3 wide into turn number 2. And actually, Paymay is going to make his way through. Also going 3 wide through here, and people do get pretty feisty, and there is going to be quite a bit of fighting, especially in the opening lap, and that's kind of what happens with these kind of great starts, especially here at Autopolis. Now, things are going to calm down a bit now, as we are starting to go into single file line, and I'm hoping that it just stays that way, because the last thing I want to do is fight it out with other cars, as it's going to make it even more difficult to try to catch up to the cars up front. I'm actually going to brake a little early and going to get a little bit of a bump from the car behind. And that did unsettle me a bit, but luckily it was just a little bit unsettling. Nothing too crazy. Didn't bin it yet, or didn't wreck. So we're just going to continue on and just trying to see if we can somehow catch up or just keep up with those in front. Now, we do need to talk a bit about the strategies, because this race was a bit of an interesting one. So all sports tires are allowed. There are no mandatory tires, and there are no mandatory tire requirements. So you can basically just run whatever strategy you want. Although here's the thing. The sports medium tires lap around 2 seconds a lap slower than the sports soft tires, and they don't last the entire race. So actually just putting on the sports medium tires puts you at a massive disadvantage. Actually, it kind of just ruins your run. And the sports hard tires, I mean, do I really need to say much about the sports hard tires? If you put those on for the race, you automatically ruin your race, and yeah, you'll basically be finishing in last place, as you'll be lapping about 10 million years a lap slower than the sports soft tires. So this basically means that you have to use the sports soft tires no matter what. Don't use the sports medium tires, don't use the sports hard tires, just use the sports soft tires. And this brings another problem. Do you go for the one stop where you go from worn softs to a new pair of soft tires, or do you risk it and try to go for a 0 stop? So if you go for the 1 stop, you deal with a pretty big pit loss. I think it's around 22 seconds. I know it's a long pit loss here at Autopolis, but I don't know the exact number. But I want to say around 22 seconds pit loss here at Autopolis. And you have to be really fast to try to make up that pit loss. But if you try to go for the 0 stop, you have to be really good at saving your tires. So you have to drive pretty carefully while maintaining a good pace. Definitely don't drive like this, because I'm over here driving like an idiot and destroying my tires. But anyways, you have to be really careful with your turning inputs, because it's the front tires that wear out pretty fast in the 86 and the BRZ. And also, if anyone's wondering why basically everyone used the 86 has a slightly better suspension setup, which actually helps the tires last a little bit longer compared to the BRZ. So fun fact for you right there. But anyways, if you're not good with tire saving, then trying to go for a 0 stop is gonna put you in trouble really fast. So you have to be really mindful with your driving and just hopefully avoiding any sort of shenanigans to try to make those tires last as long as possible. And yes, that does mean driving on completely dead tires. You'll see what I mean later in the video. But in the meantime, I'm kind of just stuck in no man's land, so I don't have to really worry about anyone else. I can kind of just focus on my own driving, which is going to help me out because I didn't warm up for this race. But we're going to skip forward towards the end of lap number 7. So you can see there's quite a bit of tire wear on the front left tire, and I think it's just over 50% tire wear. So I will have to be a bit more careful about how I'm driving, especially through these right turns, as the front left tire is eventually going to completely wear on me. Now I do want to take a look at one of the one-stoppers because they're actually going to pit right now. So there's actually 4 of them that are pitting right now. One other car pitted in the lap before, so end of lap number 6. So there's actually at least 5 cars that are going for the one-stop strategy, and I went ahead and just beat past them because I'm like, okay, I'll take second place for now, thank you very much. But this is the thing, so for those going for the one stop, you do face a pretty big pit loss. I think it's around 20 seconds. I don't know, to be honest. So you have a big pit loss, but you can push as much as you can because your tires will now make it to the end of the race. But you also have to be careful about coming across anyone that's doing a zero stop, or even coming across your own mates that are also doing the one stop. So any sort of getting held up or battling with other cars, that's going to cost you time, and it's going to make it even more difficult to catch up to anyone that's going for the zero stop. So for example, me, Greasy, Andre Sav, and Grove Street, we're all going for the zero stop. So it is up to these 5 cars, and that includes Holman, who is in the gray 86 a bit further up ahead. It is up to them to try to catch up to us as quickly as possible. And if they start to get into any shenanigans with anyone who's doing the zero stop, or if they start to get into any sort of shenanigans with themselves, that's going to result in more time lost, and that will increase the chances of us zero stoppers getting away with the zero stop, as there's already a bit of fighting going on between the one stoppers. And that's the thing, if you start to really fight it out, then you're gonna kind of make the one stop backfire, as you're starting to lose a lot of time. You're trying to make up time, not trying to lose time. And there you go. Someone's actually getting a 1 second track penalty, and there's even more fighting going on, especially through this third sector, really technical third sector. So if you're fighting out through here, yeah, you're gonna lose even more time. Yeah, you can just see just how much fighting there's going on with these 4 cars. And Holman, who is also doing the one stop, yeah, at this point he's pretty much just broken away from these 4 cars. And before I forget, I just remembered that Lester, who is in first place, is also going for the zero stop. But the thing is that Lester is so far up ahead that he can basically just go for the zero stop and not have to worry about anyone. That kind of shows you how far up he is and how good his pace is. But still gonna keep an eye on these group of cars. Oh my goodness, yeah, they're really fighting it out now. The car with the penalty starting to shuffle towards the back of the pack. And are they going to fight it out here? I don't think so. I think now they're going to try to stay in a single file line, trying to work with each other a bit, so now they can really start to try to catch up to us zero stoppers. And there you go, just trying to be nice and careful through here. Paymay is going to try to go for the move. Oh, he's sliding around a little bit. And actually, he and the Canadian were able to catch the car that was just starting to slide around a little bit. Is anything else going to happen over here? Looks like they're going to... Nope, they're going to start to fight it out again. So Paymay is going to see if we can try to go for the move. They're going to go too wide into the hairpin on top of the hill. Oh no. Oh no, they're going 3 wide now. Okay, let's go 3 wide. All right, and Apple Pop is going to make his move right there. Get a double overtake done right there. And yeah, all that fighting, yeah, that's not really going to help their cause. So in the meantime, I'm actually now in 3rd place, as Greasy was catching up to me so fast. I decided, you know what, just pass me. And I went ahead and slow down a bit so he can pass me. So I think it was actually at the top of the hairpin, the second hairpin, where Greasy caught up to me, so I purposely went wide and just let him on through. And yeah, I could have fought out with Greasy for second place, but the thing is that I'm more worried about all the one-steppers that are quickly catching up to us. And during the race, I didn't exactly know where they were. So I decided, you know what, Greasy, you're going a lot faster than me. Just go ahead and pass me. And I'll just see if I can stay in your tail. Because, yeah, if we are able to work together, if Greasy and I are able to work together a bit, then that will help us delay the inevitable of one-stoppers catching up to us. I mean, unless if we start to fight it out, or if the one-stoppers start to fight it out. Again, we don't really know what's going on with the one-stoppers. I didn't even know where they were at the time. All I was just hoping is just try to save as much as possible and just try to fight as little as possible. But going back to Applepop's perspective, so he has come across one of these zero stoppers. And actually, this is really bad news for Applepop, as he's coming across one of the zero stoppers in the worst place possible. So basically the third sector, as this is a really tight technical sector, and it's basically a single file line through nearly the entire sector. So good luck trying to pass anyone, especially if there are unworn soft tires, just like the car in 8th place. Yeah, you can see Applepop just struggling to get through. And yeah, 8th place is going to go a bit wide, so he's going to sneak on through. But still, that's even more time loss, which delays the inevitable of the one-stoppers catching up to me, Greasy, Grove, and Andre. I mean, I just realized I went out of order, so it's actually Greasy, me, Andre, Grove. There we go. I guess you could say that the goal for us four who are doing the zero stop is to make the race as boring as possible. That way we can just focus on trying to save our tires and not lose too much time from fighting each other. The not fighting each other part, that's going fantastic, as we're kind of just minding our own business. But well, the tire saving part is not going so well. You can actually see Andre's tires. He's doing a better job of tire saving than I am, because my front left tire has basically hit 100% tire wear. So now I'm lapping over a second per lap slower than my fastest, actually 2 seconds slower than my fastest lap. So this is where the trouble begins, because every time I have to make a right turn, yeah, I'm just going to understeer a lot. So I have to slow down a lot more to try to make sure I don't understeer off of the track. I can still make the right turns, that's not a, or the left turns, that's not a problem. But every time I have to make a right turn, yeah, I can just feel that the front left tire just has no grip. So I'm just understeering all day with that. So my times are basically just starting to fall off of a cliff. And this is where the advantage for the one-stopper starts to build up, especially as our front right tire is eventually going to wear out as well. But again, with the one-stoppers, they will have to deal with any of us zero stoppers and themselves as well. So they can't fight it out just yet. They have to catch up to us first, so they can try to reclaim the spots that they were at before they went into the pit stop. Going into lap number 13, so you can see that my front left tire is just completely dead. Front right tire is getting close to that point. I'm doing 208s now, so my times are getting even worse. I'm lapping around 3 seconds a lap slower now. Andre has caught up to me, as he's doing better in terms of tire wear management, but Applepop is catching up as well, and the group of the one-stoppers they're right behind him. So yeah, there's at least 4 one-stoppers that are not too far from us. So they're about 1 to 3 corners away from us. And the struggle is just going to continue, just understeering so much through these technical parts. And each time we have to struggle through these corners, that's where the one-stoppers are just going to gain a lot more time on us. And this is where the first sign of trouble is going to come, because Holman has finally reached Andre and I. So Holman started to honk at us, and yeah, we can't really defend when we have dead front tires. So we're basically just not really gonna fight it out. We're gonna let Hallman through the moment, at the safest possible moment. So Andre's gonna let Hallman through going into turn number 1. So you can actually see in the radar on the bottom right hand corner of the screen. Andre just lets Hallman through, and now it's my turn to let him through. I mean, yeah, I could try to fight it out with Hallman, but that's not the brightest idea. That'd be a bit of a, what do you call it? That'd be a really poor decision. I would say a different word, but that's a bad word, so I'm not gonna say that. But anyways, just went ahead and let Hallman through. Not gonna bother fighting it out with him. I have to worry more about Andre, and hopefully not have to worry about any of the other one-stoppers. But here is the thing, the one-stoppers are still catching up to us. Actually, Apple Pop is getting held up by Grosjean, and Grosjean is doing the 0 stop, so yeah, he's going a lot slower as his front tires are gone. And because Grove held up Apple Pop for a little bit, that is going to result in more time loss. So that's going to further delay the inevitable for Andre and I. There you go. Apple Pop going to make his way through. Going to pass Grove. So now we're on the same back straight. And I still don't... I find it kind of funny that I didn't really know that they were catching up to us. I mean, I knew that Hallman caught up to us, but I didn't exactly know where Apple Pop and the other one-stoppers were, because I was just focused on trying not to understeer off the track as my front... My goodness, look at those front tires. They're completely dead. They're just going to struggle through the final corner. And yeah, you just see. I have to go really slow. Just try to not understeer off the track as we get ready to start the final lap. And yeah, I think that was where I was able to kind of see that the one-stoppers are quickly catching up to us. So it is going to be a bit of a close finish. So at this point, it could be anyone's game. And I'm just hoping that at this point, it's like, okay, I just hope that I can stay just far ahead enough to where I can keep 4th place, as this is 300 points. And I would love to end this day with 300 points. So it's going to keep struggling as the front right tire is about to go. It is just about to hit 100% tire wear. So my... oh gosh, yeah, my front tires are basically dead now. So now I'm basically at the mercy of Andre, who has slightly better tire wear, and at the mercy of all the one-stoppers who are going to catch up to us pretty soon. The only question is when. So we're going to look at Apple Pop's perspective. So yeah, they're not too far ahead from us. So I think they're about 3-ish seconds behind us. He's actually going to go a bit defensive, as one of the other one-stoppers is trying to see if he can try to sneak up on him. Oh, a bit of a bump right there. And the Canadian's going to make his way through. And I think it was that moment that was the final nail in the coffin that they were not going to catch up to us. As that little bit of fighting, if they didn't fight right there, they would have definitely caught up to us. You'll see how close they get towards the finish line, which is not too far from here. But yeah, you can still see that I'm just really struggling to go through these final corners, as the car is just understeering so much. I have to slow down a lot to make it through these turns. Going back to Apple Pop's perspective, so they're about 3 to 4 seconds behind. And yeah, if there were a couple more turns, they would have definitely caught up to us. But still, Andre and I were able to somehow not get passed by the other one-stoppers. Only one one-stopper was able to break through most of us. He couldn't even catch up to Lester though, as Lester, he was on a whole different game. But still, finishing in 4th place, somehow finishing ahead of the one-stoppers. So that gamble that gamble worked out pretty well. Finishing in 4th place for 300 points right on the dot. So I'll definitely take that. Yeah, didn't warm up. I know I could have done better, but you know what? I'll take 300 points. I'm very happy with this result. But there you go. That's going to be it for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. You can press the like, subscribe, and all that good stuff. And I just want to give a quick thank you to those who watched this video, to the subscribers, and to the channel members right here on the screen. So thank you guys for the support. This is Mr. MCA, the world's most OK player, and I'll see you in the next video.